Your feeling on what happened there, transpired there?
Oh, I think the president was an unpopular hire in 2011. I think the faculty never embraced it. I think some of the politicians in the state never embraced it. He's the second straight businessman, not from the academic world, to get that job. And I think that people on the faculty staff, he never won them over. And I think he was low-hanging fruit. I think he existed in a campus environment where his own staff made it clear to the kids on campus that he was not popular and he could be taken out. And the kids took advantage of that. I think that, they have some issues. Missouri is 100 miles from Ferguson.
Yeah, I don't know I was thinking this last night. You know the area well. I would say in this country, there's only one state I've never been to, South Carolina. But the one area I don't know, Kansas, Missouri, Kansas City. Talk about the racial tension there, because I don't know its history.
Well, listen, I think there is racial tension all across America and all across the globe. I think we have this foolish notion that there's some utopia, someplace on earth where there's these safe zones where there is no racial tension. Listen, bias and unfairness have been a part of the world's history since its inception. It's not going anywhere. And that bias and unfairness runs all directions. Here in America, because we're the minority as African Americans, it hits us the hardest. But bias and unfairness goes both ways. And so I don't want to single out Mizzou, but I will single it out in this case in terms of it's so close to Ferguson and the St. Louis area. And so many St. Louis and Ferguson kids
go there,
come to Mizzou, and athletes on the football team from that area and existing in that environment, that I think Gary Pinkel and the president there had a difficult situation. And I think the faculty and Gary Pinkel were aware this president's ill-equipped. He doesn't understand kids. He doesn't understand young people. He doesn't even understand what just happened 100 miles away and what impact it's had on this university and how we can best address it and deal with it. And so
you don't sense any altruism here, because my argument is, one of the reasons I supported Missouri players is I ever seen the documentary Hot Coffee about the
yes.
And if we don't, the great moments in this country that broaden and strengthen our democracy, not weaken it, is when the powerful reach down to the powerless. Those with a voice reach down to those without it. And for decades, college students like me who are broke give our time and our energy and our love to our teams on campus. Rarely do those athletes reach back to us and say, we're part of you, student body. And Missouri players, I would argue there is some altruism here, said, listen, this is a hunger strike. This is a campus with racial strife. I thought it was a moment that it was not only symbolic, but it was a gesture that you rarely see. The college athlete, viewed often as pampered, reaches back and helps the student body.
Listen, there are some good things and good lessons and examples that came from this. And I think what you're talking about is one of them. But I also think and know that there are issues within that Missouri football program that those kids, that's part of also the reason they joined this, because they feel like there's some issues that need to be addressed in the football program.
What if the team was 11-0, 8-0?
Wouldn't have happened.
Okay.
Would not have happened.
So my altruistic take's a little off.
Slightly. It wouldn't have happened if they were undefeated and playing for big games. But listen, when a team struggles the way that Missouri has, and they have the kind of quarterback play they've been getting from their freshman savior, their big recruit, grandfather and dad both played at Mizzou. This kid was supposed to be their savior quarterback. He's been awful the last 4 weeks, and there are kids on that team that feel like, well, why is this guy not being evaluated? Why is he being pampered? Why isn't he coming off the field and perhaps giving Marvin Sanders, our black quarterback, a chance who can run the ball? So I think those issues are at play. I think those issues, racial issues and tension and divisiveness without race, are always being managed by the football coach, a good manager, a good leader. This year and in the past 18 months, because of what's happened in Ferguson, I think they're more acute at Missouri on the football program and on the rest of the campus. And this president, he's a businessman.
He was ineffective.
Yeah, he slow to recognize the seriousness of the problem, and the faculty upset with him, and they turned on him.